All right, welcome everybody to the Connection Hangout. Tonight is the Athlete Connection. All right, my name is Paul Tyra, and I'm joined by my co-host there in Marietta, Georgia, David Asarno. Welcome, David.
Hey, Paul. How are you doing, Paul?
Fantastic. Is hot Atlanta starting to cool down?
Yeah, we were only 91 today.
That's right. That's right. I didn't get to see the final of the golf there yesterday. I've got a T-vote, so don't tell me who won. But that they were showing, it still looked like it was pretty hot.
It was hot. However, it doesn't feel hot at all because our humidity is really low right now. So
it is. Okay.
It's almost like we're out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And it's been crazy here. It's been like about 78, 82, right in that zone. So we had a real spectacular week and had to go to like two pool parties.
Twist your arm there,
I know. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. As a reminder, everybody, the Connection Hangout, this is not a product or a business presentation. If you'd like more information regarding ASEA, Renew 28, or the company, please get back to the person who invited you to be on this Hangout, and they'll give you more information. Some of you may also have a more info button underneath the screen. If so, you can feel free to click on that when we're done, and you'll be taken to more information. Also, if you'd like to chime in and let us know where you're viewing from, there's a comment section underneath as well, and we'd love to hear from you. Just type right beneath the screen there where you're viewing from. All right, without any further ado, let me go ahead and introduce tonight's very special guest. CHRISTIANN ARBINI is a 31-year-old triathlete from Liberty Lake, Washington. She is a two-time Ironman finisher and ranks in the top 3 of her age bracket at triathlons. She has years of half and full distance Ironman or marathon rather competitions with podium finishes. She's also a certified trainer, personal trainer, and sports performance coach for 10 years, along with being a certified full-time dental assistant for 12 years. She knows what it takes to work long hours and to do what it takes to keep chasing her goals and dreams. And she has a never give up attitude and a determination that will make you leave you actually feeling motivated just by meeting her. And I know I did. I just got a chance to meet CHRISTIANN a couple weeks ago at our Envision conference. Was so impressed. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ASEA athlete CHRISTIANN ARBINI. Sorry about that. I know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks out there, CHRISTIANN, know you as CHRISTIANN Sanders, but you recently got married, so congratulations on that. And,
thank you.
All right, and first off, we want to we'd love to start out learning about our athletes of where you're actually located and how you ended up in the whole fitness world and triathlon space in your case.
Okay, well, I currently live, like I said, in Liberty Lake, Washington. I've probably been here for the past about 6 years or so, living in the area. Before that, it was kind of more Coeur d'Alene, Idaho area. So I still kind of travel with my jobs. Obviously, I'm right between both of them. So it's about a 25, 30-mile drive kind of every afternoon when I go from my full-time dental job to my additional training job. And I know it's a bit much. I've done it for so many years, and for now I don't have any kids, so it's really kind of been both my passions for a long time, and I'm waiting till I can kind of just really go full-time more into the athletic world. That's obviously where my heart is and my passion is, and eventually that's kind of where I'm headed. So
it's really impressive because like a lot of people don't realize that. I know we had Brian McChrystal on before, Team ASEA Ireland, and wearing a shirt, and
yeah.
And he has a full-time family business that he runs, and he has to do all this training on top of it. I know he just recently, not recently, it's been a few months now, qualified for Ironman, is heading to Kona. I mean, it's just amazing how you guys are able to fit all that in one day and train and all that. It's really amazing.
Yeah. We are, we're a little bit of a different breed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So as Paul said, though, how did you originally end up in the fitness world in triathlons? What really got you there?
What actually got me started into kind of the racing world, unfortunately, kind of stemmed from a tragedy. When I was 16, my mom was injured in a really severe snowmobile accident. It left her in a coma for 7 weeks. She was hospitalized for over a year. I watched her fight for her life. She was not supposed to make it. She was not supposed to be walking or talking. And just the willpower of watching my mom pull through something just so incredible. I mean, if you met her today, you never even know. She is walking and talking normal, and other than, you know, the typical, she kind of forgets things here and there. She does have some brain damage that she got left with, but that initially kind of drove me to start running, because running was the one thing that I was able to kind of relieve my stress with. And it just, you know, there was so much to handle as like a 15, 16-year-old when it happened. I was kind of just placed with, I had 2 younger sisters that I had to take care of, and a house. We were in the middle of a remodel. It was just unbelievable amount of just stress that I was dealing with. And I turned to running as kind of my stress reliever. And it started becoming just this challenge for me to keep getting a little bit further and be able to run a little bit more. And so then I jumped into my first race, and it kind of just got me hooked ever since to just keep going into building and the racing side of things. But what actually got me into the fitness side of things to become a trainer was just that passion that I grew to love, and knowing that I wasn't naturally gifted at what I do. I am not one of those you see that just has gazelle legs that can just run, you know, 6-minute miles without even training. Like, that is not me at all. I have to work really hard for everything I do. And I just wanted to be able to be that person to tell those people who are exactly like me that they can go out there and achieve the same things. Like, it doesn't matter if you are not gifted, if that's not necessarily what your, you know, DNA supposedly says you can do. I think everybody can do anything that they set their mind to. And that just became my passion to get into the fitness world and just help people. And that's kind of, I've been stuck there ever since. And I love it. I can't pull myself away from it. So I really feel that that's ultimately where my overall passion is, that I'm supposed to go. And that's what I'm working toward.
So what, thank you for sharing that. What's your most memorable race experience?
My most memorable race experience, I'll give you a pro and con, because I think they both have a really great position to them that can help people, not just athletes, but even people that are trying to grow businesses. I think they all correlate. We have a lot of things in common. The very first one that I did that was awful, it was 1 month before my very first Ironman competition. It was actually my second triathlon. It was an Olympic distance. It was in Rigby, Idaho. It was freezing cold, and I hit the water and had an asthma attack. As soon as I hit the water. I do have asthma, and that's how I found out, was that it set it off, and I just tried to keep going throughout the race. I had a really good friend of mine that was there that was racing with me, and he just would not let me give up. He said, "You can't stop. We have to finish this race. Like, in a month, you're going to be standing on a beach that is triple the amount of distance, and you need to know that you can actually do this." And so we hung in there, we pushed through there, we got it done. We were the last ones to finish. And it was, you know, the experience and things I took away from that was, no matter what, you just cannot give up. You cannot quit. And I took that with me to the beach in a month later for the Ironman 2010 Coeur d'Alene, and finished my very first Ironman that was triple the distance. So that was a very, you know, no matter what the odds, even if you fail, you're not really failing unless you fully quit. So to me, that was something that I was able to take with me on throughout every additional race journey I've ever done. The most awesome and amazing one was my second Ironman. And the reason for that one is that, you know, I put in the time, I put in the training. I had been introduced to ASEA, and I was on it for 4 months right before the race hit. And I finished that race and shaved 4 hours off of my overall time. Wow. So yeah, I exceeded my own expectations. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was awesome.
Unbelievable. 4 hours. It's crazy. And that's all your hardware sitting behind you on that shelf, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few back there. I didn't bring them all. There's too much.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
But yeah.
So speaking of ASEA, how were you initially introduced to ASEA, and what was your first like initial experience where you had that sort of aha moment and you kind of said like, hey, this stuff really works?
Yeah, so I was introduced to ASEA, like I said, 4 months before my second Ironman competition in 2014. And it was brought up to me, actually, I was a cycling instructor at the time, and someone had mentioned this ASEA product to me. And I was kind of like, okay, you know, we get introduced to a lot of supplements. Everyone says it's great and it has all these amazing things. And you're like, okay, yeah, try it. Or it has a lot of sugar, or something's always kind of a negative for me. So I really dig into the science behind what this product actually is going to do for me. I'm not just about dumping stuff into my body. So I was actually connected up with Sean Burke, who the gentleman told me, go talk to this guy. He will get you connected. He will get you, he'll explain to you more. He can tell you from an athlete standpoint, kind of how it worked for him, because I was skeptical, right? I think a lot of people are. I got on the product, and my first initial reaction was it tasted like pool water. But it wasn't that bad because, you spend a lot of hours in the pool, and, every now and then you drink some pool water, so you know what that tastes like, and it's not that bad. But I didn't initially know much was happening with it, except for about maybe 2-3 weeks in. The first thing I started noticing was that I was actually able to fall asleep faster, and it was more sound when I have a lot of sleeping issues. So I was able to sleep a lot better. And my recovery was amazing. I went from doing 100-mile bike rides one day to getting up and doing 20-mile runs the next day, and not having the fatigue where you are just dragging yourself out of bed in pain, and you're really unsure how you're going to go do this 20-mile run. So I started becoming more of a believer at that point of, okay, I'm going to stick with this. And then I just stuck with it month after month. And when Ironman hit, right after Ironman was, that was the definite determining factor that I was never getting off this product ever again. I mean, I was just never going to be without it. It surpassed what I thought I could even do. So I just know if I just keep staying on it, I should just get better.
Right on. Awesome.
Cool. Now, I understand you suffered some major injuries in 2015. What was that like, and how did ASEA play a role in helping the recovery?
Yeah, in the beginning of 2015, I had a ski accident, and I ruptured my ACL in my left knee and had to go through surgery with that. Along that same time, they actually had diagnosed a previous injury that I'd been dealing with for quite a few years. It was just chronic, and I had a tear in my hip. It was a labrum tear. So I had 2 surgeries in 2015, a month and a half apart, 2 major surgeries. And I actually almost got off the product because at the time, with just where my life was at and trying to, I had massive surgery and bills and everything. So it was kind of, okay, cut unnecessary things. And thank goodness for Sean. I had a chance to kind of talk with him and said, this is what I'm thinking. And he said, like, why would you do that? That's the worst idea ever. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to stay on it. And he's like, you need to double your dose. So right away, I started increasing my dose. At that time, I think the Renew 28 started coming out, and he actually had given me like a tube of it to use on my scars and like all over, because I had bruising and, I was kind of a mess. So I used that and I just started guzzling ASEA. And my recovery process was sped up about like 3 months ahead of progress. Wow. So I was increasingly recovering much faster than normal people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So speaking of how much you take, just like now as you're training for your events, and what's a daily like dosage that you use of ASEA?
We actually, as athletes, require a little bit more than just the standard recommendation that's on the bottle. I've kind of tested it out for sure, just in my own use. And I double the dose. Typically, it's 2 ounces 2 times a day or something like that. And we typically will do, I'm running about 2 ounces 3 times a day when I'm not doing anything. That's typically like on a total off season, which I don't really have. So I pretty much run triple. I'm running anywhere from double or triple that dose every single day. So I'm blowing through a lot of ASEA, but it's incredible. It makes a world of difference on recovery. It's pretty much night and day. So if you're not quite sure, if you're not feeling the effects or something, I think some people might just require a little bit more. And I mean, you have nothing to lose. Try it out.
Right. Super.
That's true. So as we close the call, can you share some upcoming events you have so some of our viewers can be A, looking out for what you're doing, and B, cheering you on?
Yeah, I actually have coming up probably in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to jump back into a half marathon. Unfortunately, I am still struggling with some hip issues. I sort of have bad news and have to go back in for a little bit of some hip surgery that they have to go in and kind of clean some stuff up. So as far as my schedule for next year, I don't fully know what I'm jumping into. I'd love to get built back up to a full Ironman again. If nothing else, it'll definitely be some halves next year. So, but I'm planning on doing a half marathon here in a couple weeks, right before surgery.
Oh man.
one last hurrah, right? Right before.
Probably better to do it right before than right after.
Yeah, they won't let me do it after, so I have to do it now.
that is crazy. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We love to hear all these great stories, and congratulations and all the best of luck too with your upcoming procedure and the upcoming half Ironman. Thank you so much.
Recovery activity.
All right, and special thanks once again to my co-host there, David Asarno. Thanks, David.
My pleasure, and special thanks to Paul Tyra, the host with the most.
All right, everyone. Thanks. Have a fantastic rest of your evening and rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Good night.